of your credit. It may seem unlikely, but statistics show that identity theft is on the rise, and women are more likely to be the targets. So how do you protect yourself from becoming the next victim? Watch this.
One day I received a phone call out of the clear blue sky saying, "Is this Mari Frank?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "This is the Bank of New York, Delaware, and we want to know why you haven't paid your $11,000 bill to us." And I said, "I'm sorry, you have the wrong number." About to hang up, and she said, "Wait, isn't this your Social Security number and your birth date?" And then I knew.
For Mari Frank, that phone call was the beginning of a nightmare. 2 years ago, her identity was stolen by a woman named Tracy Lloyd. Lloyd was a paralegal who illegally accessed Mari's credit report and made off with $50,000. Most frightening is the fact that what happened to Mari happens to at least 1,000 of us every day. And believe it or not, it's a simple crime to commit, almost too simple.
We see from the very simple dumpster diving, as we call it, going into the trash and finding the bills that you've discarded that may have your credit card numbers on it, or theft of mail. If you decide you want to apply for a car loan and you fill out the application in your house, you walk out to the mailbox, stick it in the mailbox, put the flag up. It has typically every identifier about you as well as all of your credit information.
Another is that they have a friend who is hired in the payroll department of a company, so they have access to people's entire personal information. They sometimes have had access to credit reports in which they try to get information.
The annual toll of identity theft crimes has nearly doubled in recent years, up from $442 million in 1995 to $745 million in 1997. Why? Creditors are eager to issue instant credit, and crooks are finding the loopholes. All they need to get started is your name and Social Security number. Add a driver's license number, date of birth, and address, and the thieves can virtually spend at will.
They don't just want any Jane Doe's ID. They want Jane Doe the Third. They want that person who has good credit, who has worked hard to acquire that, because they can parlay that in 30 days into a lot more money than Jane Doe the Third thinks that she can get on her credit.
Women are very susceptible to this crime. Most of the time with violent crime, we don't think of women committing the crime. But this particular crime, you don't need a gun. Instead of using a gun to steal $50,000, you use a Social Security number.
Nearly every adult in the U.S. has a credit report on file at the 3 major credit reporting bureaus. And if a thief can get to that, they know pretty much everything there is to know about you.
Your information is not considered your private information. The information in your credit header information on your own credit report that has your birthday, your Social Security number, your name, your former name, your employer, your former employer. That's not covered by the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And right now, that is being sold by the credit reporting agencies all the time for billions of dollars each year.
Another key source for your private information is the internet.
There's a lot of security sites and private investigation sites that you can go and pay a fee and find out anything that you want to on anybody in the world.
Although protecting yourself from identity theft isn't 100% foolproof, there are some precautions to take, like
Treating your credit cards like cash, not writing your personal information on the outside of envelopes, shredding mail, or at least tearing mail in half, not putting your personal information in your trash so that it can be available to dumpster divers.
If anybody ever calls you wanting your account number or wanting your Social Security number, I would be very nervous. They tend not to be legitimate organizations. And any long, complicated story, they might be offering you prizes, they might say you won a sweepstake, all things that sound awfully good. And then they proceed to ask you your account number or your Social Security number.
If you start getting phone calls or correspondence that would indicate that you've communicated to someone to lend you money or render credit or something else of value in your name, and you didn't, you need to be suspicious of where they got your name and why is it that they're corresponding with you, and not just throw that stuff away saying, well, I really didn't order that.
I write letters to all the credit reporting agencies and my credit card companies telling them to take me off all promotional lists, because I don't want pre-approved offers coming to my home. I'm very careful. I don't write checks. I use pay by phone, so I don't write any checks.
Other precautions? Pay attention to your bills. If you suddenly stop receiving monthly statements, it could mean your account has been taken over by thieves. Don't leave letters and bill payments in your mailbox for the mail carrier. Take them directly to the post office. And most important, check your credit reports twice a year for mistakes. If your identity is stolen, contact the credit reporting agencies immediately.
To look at the credit report and see if we see any signs that there actually has been abuse. And then we immediately add a security alert, if that's the case, saying that I may have been a victim of fraud.
If you'll wait one moment, I'll go ahead and add this security alert for you, sir.
Call your issuer, call the police, call the credit bureaus. Make sure that you have a list somewhere of all the credit accounts you have, be they bank cards or store cards or gas company cards, and you know which accounts may have been compromised.
Check for fraudulent cards that may have been opened in your name and cancel them. And while conventional wisdom suggests you cancel all your credit cards, don't.
One of the victims who contacted me did that, and she was unable to get any credit or a job because she had no credit profile. She looked very suspicious because when she canceled all of her cards at once, they wondered what was happening.
Other agencies to contact? The U.S. Postal Inspector, the Secret Service, and the Passport Office in case someone tries to apply for a passport in your name.
The financial industry really needs to become more accountable. They need to collaborate with victims and advocates and consumer groups to make some changes that will help all of us.
If you would like more information or if you're interested in getting a survival kit, you can log on to identitytheft.org. We'll be back after these important messages.